The master of the vineyard sent out his servant to get workers to work in the harvest. It was harvest time. And when it's harvest time, you've got to move quickly so that you don't diminish or destroy your crop. They went into the marketplace, agreed to give workers a denarius, which was a day's wage. They brought the workers back to the fields, and they were happy to get this work because it provided their day's food and requirements for their families. But they needed more workers. He hired more at 9 o'clock and at 3 o'clock, but still there was the need to have more. And finally, it was the 11th hour, the Bible says in Matthew chapter 20. And so the servant hired these men, though it was 1 hour before quitting time. And when he came back and they began working, the master said to the servant, "Now, at the close of the day, bring them in from the last one hired to the first and pay them what I agreed to." The last ones who had worked an hour got a day's wage. And immediately there was people getting upset. And I think we can identify with this. We feel like we're not being treated fairly. I worked hard all day, and I didn't get more than this man got. Now Jesus said, "Why are you fussing with me? I did you no harm. I did exactly what I agreed to do." And this is an important lesson for us to understand. We may feel that we're being treated unfairly, and there may be unfairness in life, which we will experience from time to time. But when it comes to God, we must remember that God is generous in His giving. He has done exactly what He said He would do in the parable to those that were working. The people who were hired early in the day knew that their needs were being taken care of. Their families were being provided for. The person who was in the marketplace had no way of knowing whether he would be able to provide for his family by the end of the day or be able to take care of their daily bread and their daily needs. And so, while the first group should have rejoiced in what they had been given, they should not have been antagonistic nor indifferent towards the person who was coming in at the late hour. And the lesson for us, we may have been serving God for many, many years. And that's a wonderful thing and privilege that God has given to us. But let's remember there are people out there who have never tasted the goodness of God, never tasted the joys of the Lord. They've never benefited like we have. And if we could do one thing in life, and that would be to convey to them the riches of His grace and rejoice when they enter into it. And if they get blessed abundantly, rejoice in their blessing, because God has been good to you and good to me.